Seamus Cowden, aka Sledge, aka the Kool-Aid Man, aka giant dude with a giant hammer. Coming in at 6'4" and age 35, weighing 209 pounds. Anyway, yeah, this is Sledge. So Sledge comes from Scotland, also has 3 siblings, and throughout his young life, there's not much to be known about it other than that he has 3 siblings and he was a super athletic dude. When he was around 16 years old, he elevated to the position of captain of the 1998 Scotland national under-20 rugby union team, so dude was pretty good. Following that, Sledge didn't find this life to be too exciting for him, and his family had a long tradition of serving in the military, so he thought that he would join suit. By the time that Sledge turned 18, he decided to enroll into the 3rd UK Mechanized Division of the British Army, and very quickly his superior officers noticed that his drive and physique fit the division's historical nickname that they had of Ironsides. Starting out in the British Army, Sledge first was in the Armored Division, where he was studying engineering and upgrading the combat vehicles, but he very quickly found out that this was too boring for him because he just likes to hit stuff and blow stuff up. From there, while he was in the British Army, he did develop a lot of breaching tactics, and after 5 years of upgrading these combat vehicles and developing his skills, he was recruited into the SAS along with Smoke. In the SAS, he very quickly broke multiple records in speed and strength, where he was then quickly noticed by the Rainbow team and recruited to them in 2015. Sledge is described to be stoic and proud of himself, really off the walls sometimes, but he also comes with a lot of courage and leadership, and he treats his fellow teammates like their family, much like Smoke. And that's a theme that you'll see with all the SAS operators in this series as well. For example, this is one of the stories that is quoted from someone that was in the British Army with Sledge. During military training, he accidentally collapsed his entire sleeping barrack while testing a new breaching technique. Bro just busted the whole barrack down. And another time, he sank a captain's motorcycle by riding it off the pier just because he wanted to see how far it would travel on the surface. He's literally the definition of letting your intrusive thoughts win, which is why he was recruited to Rainbow, so that he could bust down every wall that he could find. Yeah, guys, this is Sledge, not Master Chief. Ignore the skin. So yeah, as you can see, Sledge doesn't have too much of an interesting background. He just is very like Smoke in a way, where he joined the army young and busted some stuff up, worked on combat vehicles, knocked a few walls down. Now he's here. So let's get into the actual operator info of things. So as you can see here, Sledge's ability is the breaching hammer. Uses a breaching hammer to breach through destructible surfaces, as you would think with a sledgehammer. So Sledge is going to be a 3 health, 1 speed op, so pretty beefy boy. And hopping into his loadout here, so he does have the same shotgun in the Smoke video, so not much to be said about the shotgun. If you didn't watch that video, go check it out though. Just to give a quick recap of the shotgun, it is the best shotgun in the game. I just would not personally recommend it to use while you're on attack for any shotgun for that example. Sledge also does come equipped with the L8 5A2, which is one of the better assault rifles in the game. Now with this assault rifle, you do get access to all of the magnified scopes, so A, B, and C, the 1.5, 2.5, and the 3. I personally rock the B scope, aka the ACOG, or if you're feeling frisky, you can rock the 1.5 as well, just up to personal preference here. And then coming over to the barrels, we have the same selection of barrels that you'll see on all of the guns in the game just about. I usually run flash hider on most of these. You can also run suppressor. This gun doesn't really have a high recoil, so yeah, just in case though, I always rock flash hider just in case I can't drag my mouse down quick enough because I suck. And then hopping over to the grip, he also does have access to vertical grip, angled grip, and horizontal grip. I would always recommend to use vertical grip in this game. This is just going to reduce the speed of how much your gun kicks upwards when you're shooting, so it'll just help with that recoil more. And he also gets access to the laser sight, but going over that in my last video, I would not recommend using a laser. It's not worth it. As you can see down here, you get 0.05 of ADS speed, but you can see the laser on the walls. It's really just not worth it, especially if you're holding angles and stuff like that already. And hopping over to his secondaries or secondary, he only has one. He just has this pistol here, so you're kind of forced to use it. Going into the barrels, again, you can run either one of these because this pistol really doesn't kick that much. I usually just always run whatever gives me the highest chance of not missing my shots. So the muzzle brake here, it'll decrease how much recoil you get in single shots, but the suppressor will also take away the bullet trails for the most part and suppressor, so it'll make it a bit more silent. And it also does have access to a laser sight, which I would not use. Now going into his gadgets here, so Sledge does have frag grenades, which most of you will know what frag grenades are. You pull the pin, it goes boom, right? He also has stun grenades for flashing around corners and stuff. He also also does have impact EMPs, which is the first time we're going over impact EMPs in this series. So impact EMPs work very similar to Thatcher's EMP grenades, except they are instantaneous and they explode on impact like an impact grenade on defense. They have a shorter range than Thatcher's grenades, but basically the whole idea of this is if they have a bandit on the wall, a Kate on the wall, something like that, throw this at the wall, you'll help your hard breach get the wall without having to play Thatcher or something like that. For the most part, unless you are absolutely needed to run these, I would always run the frag grenades just so you can help clear out utility or get someone camping in a corner or something like that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the loadout part of things. He has a pretty short loadout, but we'll go ahead and hop into the gameplay here. So yeah, starting out with Boomstick Man here. So basically your main objective is you're kind of like an entry fragger, but you also do help get rid of utility. Obviously for this example here, I'm going to custom match against nobody, but if they were holding down Penthouse here in Coastline, usually something like a take that I would do would be just drawing out the room, make sure no one's on my entrance, come over here to VIP, make sure no one's holding down VIP. If not, you can, since you're playing Sledge and you have this fun thing here, you can just come into the room real quick and get stuck on the wall and establish some angles. Now that's basically Sledge's ability in a nutshell. Anything, think of it as an explosive. Anything that you can explode with like a frag grenade, Sledge's hammer will work on that as well. So any soft walls, any floors, but anything that's solid, like a piece of concrete or whatever the hell this is, that's not going to work, right? Now, this also works the same for reinforcements. If you try to hit a reinforced wall, it'll make that same noise and bounce back on you. Since you're not a hard breacher, you can only demolish stuff that's soft like this. Now, a little tip here, so do keep in mind, the sledgehammer makes a hole depending on where you're aiming it. So if you're just normally standing and looking about in the middle of your screen, you hit a hole, it's going to make a hole exactly like this. It's almost like a perfect square, but it is vaultable, which usually for the most part you don't want to do that because your enemies are going to hear you vault. If you listen close, you can hear me vault and drop on the floor. Since you're a 3 armor, this is going to be very, very loud for them too. Usually what you want to do if you're entering a room, instead of doing that, I come up to the wall and crouch and aim about in the middle of my screen when I'm crouching, and then you hit it. Now you see the difference? So it's going to be about the same size of a hole, but you don't have to vault over it. You can just crouch through. It's going to be a lot more silent that way. Now, getting into the fun stuff, you may be asking yourself, well, why would I play Sledge if there's other operators that do soft breach like Ash or Zofia or something like that, right? Well, good question. So Sledge compared to Ash has, say, 2 breaching charges, for example. Sledge, as you can see on the bottom right of my screen here, which I will move for you, Sledge has a bar right there, a blue bar that'll last for 25 hits. So instead of 2 breaching charges, you basically get 25 of them, but you have to be closer up to use it, right? Sledge also does counter operators such as Maestro, which you'll see in this clip here. He can also counter anything that's placed down that you can destroy with explosives. So zombies, bulletproof cameras, castle barricades, barbed wire, deployable shields, and you can also use it to bonk someone over the head with for a 1-hit kill. Usually what I like to do with Buck as well, so in this custom they put the bomb site down here, which is perfect. So say if you came through this barricade and they have this bomb site here, so any soft hatches, you can immediately pop those. Like that. You can also play something that's called vert, which is very, very important to learn in this game. So vertical play can be done with people like Sledge, Ash, Zofia, Ram, even Fuse to an extent. Basically what it consists of is you busting open the floor with your gigantic sledgehammer and peeking through it to get kills this way. It's very hard for defenders to contest this, especially when you're putting a lot of pressure down, because you have 25 hits of this. You can continue hitting this entire floor and open it basically all the way up. For the most part, they're going to have to come up to contest you. A little trick when you're doing vertical play, this is for every map too, not just this one. So if we come over here, you can see how these wood panels are going up and down like this, like with me here. And the metal bars, you can't shoot through these. They're going sideways. Whatever direction the wood paneling is facing, so in this way it's up and down, the metal bars will be the opposite, so left and right. So when you bust this open, you actually want to be facing this way, so that way when you get it open, you're already ready to shoot through it. And you can also drop grenades down through these as well. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this operator video. I know it was pretty short, but Sledge is pretty simple and to the point. You hit things, things go boom. Make sure you leave a like and comment on the video. Anything else you want to see in this series so far? Stay tuned for the next video. Next video, we're going to be doing an operator showcase on Mute, my favorite operator in the game. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check out our other video that we've done, the first video in the series for Smoke as well. We have some good tips and tricks in there too. With that being said, YouTube, I'll catch you mother lovers later. Mwah.